I'm Wes Bell, and this is Audio Trends TV. And today I'm here with Roy Hall of Music Hall from America. Now, Roy, you're not originally from America, are you?
No, I'm from Glasgow, Scotland.
Scotland. Well, that would explain a little, because my first thought when I think of you is as a whiskey connoisseur.
Drink whiskey. I don't know if I'm a connoisseur.
Well, I must confess that I've spent many a happy hour in your music hall room at CES, etc., drinking single malt. And
Remind me to send you a bill for that.
and swapping tall tales with yourself and Leland. And I had a question regarding whiskey.
Sure.
You know how wine people are always banging on about, matching your wine with your food?
Mm-hmm.
I just wondered if you had any hints and tips on matching whiskey with music.
Well, the one thing I've found out about whiskey, it improves every hi-fi system.
Every hi-fi system.
Every hi-fi system.
I'm
Even the bad ones.
thinking Johnny Walker fans will be very pleased to hear that.
Well, that's not whiskey. That's for rubbing on cuts and bruises.
Now that's the sound of a single malt man and his reaction to a blended reference.
You have to understand something about Scotch. Most Scotch is crap. That's why they came out with blended whiskey. They couldn't drink the single malt stuff. And by mistake, someone somewhere figured out how to make a single malt that tasted good. And there's a few people left who know how to do it.
That's fantastic.
There's just a lot of rubbish. And they all drink, they all get blended into Johnny Walker. And Johnny Walker red, blue, black, it's just more expensive shit.
Love it. Love it. All right. Now, back when vinyl ruled the world, when you and I were whippersnappers, you would have been well into your records and your music, yes. And you would have played with many turntables and owned quite a few. What is it about turntables?
They make you feel good. Mm-hmm. Analog sound. I've listened to, because like you, I'm in the industry, I get access to all sorts of demonstrations, and I've heard some really high-res digital sound, yes. And it sounds great. And then you put on a turntable, yes. And you say, you just relax into it. There is something about the continuous flow of information that talks to us. Yes. There's something almost tactile about analog sound, about vinyl, and you just don't get it from digital. And I think part of the reason is that no matter how high the res is in digital, basically what you're doing is you're chopping up music into bits, and then you're reassembling it, yes. At the end. And our ears are amazingly sensitive organs. And I'll give you an example of that.
Sure.
I think digital's great for video because our eyes actually aren't that sensitive. If I show you my finger and I say follow the front of the finger and go like that, you see where the finger moved, but you cannot actually, your eyes are not sharp enough or smart enough to actually follow the movement of the edge of the finger. But if you're walking and someone drops a coin behind you, not only do you hear it, you know where the damn thing landed. Our ears are amazing. Okay. And I think what happens in digital, we're fooling them and they know it.
Interesting.
And so what happens is that when you listen to analog music, you're getting a continuous flow of information, which is the way the world works. When we hear sound, we're not hearing staggered sound, we're hearing continuous sound. And digital chops up, even if it's chopping up from 44.1K or up to, I don't know what the highest res is just now. It's good, but it ain't great.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Now, back in 1982, there was a meteor that struck the Earth, but it wasn't to destroy the dinosaurs. It was a CD, and it seemed to be directed at vinyl. And vinyl almost went completely down the toilet.
It was worse than that. I started my business in 1981 yes. by importing and distributing revolver turntables. And I did a lecture recently at a university to a group of people studying small business. And one of the topics I said is, ignorance is a great benefit.
Right.
It's sometimes good not to know how ridiculous your idea is because you won't do it in the first place. And I started selling turntables when people were literally junking turntables
Yes.
and buying CD players. And had I known then what I know now, I would never have done it.
No.
So,
But then in 1998, you started making your own.
sure.
So what was it in 1998? Did you see the writing on the wall? Did you think there was a revival? Or did you
It was
just
an
want
opportunity.
an opportunity?
It was an
Yep.
opportunity. I met the owner of Project,
Yes.
who makes Project Turntables,
Fines, yeah.
which are not quite as good as mine, but you know, he would think differently.
I bet.
And we, you know, sometimes you meet someone and you just hit it off. And Heinz and I became great friends. And he had an American distributor, and he said to me, some of the conversation, why don't we make a turntable for me? I said, I'd love you to make a turntable for me, but you've got American distributors. He says, yeah, but they're not doing a good job. I want to mess with them.
Nice.
And when he said, I want to mess with them, that's right up my street. Anything I can do to mess with the competition, that's for me. And so out of that came the first turntable, which was just a basic turntable, you know, like a Rig or like a Project, you know, just a basic sort of platform and arm and cartridge. But there's a story about that if you want to hear it.
Please.
After about a year of selling this, I got an email from the factory sort of saying it's time to come out with a second turntable. So get some ideas together and come over to the factory. I'd never been there, so I went out to the factory. And the night before I had the meeting, I met the head of production in the factory. And I brought a bottle of Macallan 18-year-old whiskey, a very, very good whiskey. And I gave it to him, and I said to him that, you know, I'm really pleased with the product you're supplying me, and I brought you this special bottle of whiskey to thank you. And he was very happy, and he said to me, do you like Slivovitz? Slivovitz is plum brandy. And we're in Eastern Moravia, in the middle of nowhere in the Czech Republic. Yes. I mean, this is really, you know, halfway between Krakow, Poland, and Brno, Czech Republic. It's a lovely area. And he said, do you like Slivovitz? And I said, well, you know, I've had good and bad. And he says, no, this is homemade Slivovitz. It's really good. Oh. So I thought, great, he's going to give me a bottle of Slivovitz. We had a meeting the next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. We go in, and we sit down in the conference room, and he's there, and the owner of the factory is there, and Heinz is there, and a few other people are there. And they bring out this flask of Slivovitz, 8 o'clock in the morning, with little glasses. So they pour a Slivovitz, drink one back. Very nice. One shot is very nice. In fact, if you ever go to Crete, the Cretans always have a shot of raki, I think they call it, first thing in the morning. Right. Civilized place. And so we had a drink, that's fine. And then someone stood up and welcomed me. We had another drink. And then someone else said something in Czech, and we had another drink. And by 9 o'clock, I'd drunk 6 glasses of the Slivovitz, which was well over 100 proof. And I was drunk out of my mind. And I was actually, you know, kind of like this. And all of a sudden, someone stood up and said, okay, let's design the new turntable. Oh, no. And that's how the MMF5 came about. And that's absolutely true.
Fantastic. It looks pretty good considering.
It's an amazing table. Maybe I should design the other ones when I'm drunk.
Yes. Design drunk and edit sober.
Yeah. So, but that's absolutely, and I have no other memory of the day except. But we came out with the table, and the table really came together in a beautiful way. So there was something in it. I think the Beatles used to write a lot of the music when they were stoned. So
yeah, why not?
Maybe there was some creative energy that comes out of the alcohol. Who knows?
So you mentioned that obviously Project Turntables aren't anywhere near as good as Music Hall Turntables, even though they come out of the same factory. So why choose a Music Hall turntable?